The people you hang around can have a big impact on your life. Think about this. What's the last bad decision you made? Or maybe I'll ask it to you this way. When's the last time you made a decision that got you in trouble? Whatever it is that you thought, how could this happen to me? But here's the deal. The common denominator in all of the choices was you. We aren't just innocent bystanders. We participate. But what's also true is that many of those decisions weren't made by ourselves. A lot of times the reason we did what we did was because there was other influences involved. In other words, friends have direct impact on us. Ultimately, your friends will have a big influence on your quality of life now and where your life ends up later. When it comes to most of our major decisions, we put a lot of thought into them. But when it comes to who we allow to be in our inner circle, we don't always think too much about that. Instead of being proactive, we tend to be reactive. Here's the bad news. Friends can pull us down. But here's the good news. They can also pull us up. Friends are a big deal. So let's talk about how to be a friend and how to maintain the right type of friendships that are better for you in the long run. So to do that, we're gonna go back to the Bible in the Old Testament to a book called Proverbs that speaks to the importance of deciding which friends you'll let influence your decisions. And Proverbs written by this dude named Solomon, who was the wisest person that ever lived. And here's what he had to say. The righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. Let's define the word righteous. It simply means people who do the right thing. It's about being a good decision maker, a wise decision maker. If we want to be right decision makers who do what's best for our future, Solomon says that we need to choose our friends carefully. Right decision makers pay attention to who their friends are because they know that they need friends who are just as invested in their future as they are. Ask yourself, are they leading me to a future that I'm proud of or to a future I don't want any part of? I understand that in high school you can't always choose the kind of people who are around you, but you may even say that you don't even have any friends. And while that might be true right now, it may be awful right now, it won't always be this way. And the decisions you make right now when it comes to friends can save you a lot of potential pain in the future. So when you're making your decisions about who your friends will be, it's important to be intentional. That's why Solomon told you to choose them very carefully in the verse that we looked at. Solomon ends that verse by saying, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. This is basically just people who are the opposite of right decision makers. When we hear the word wicked, we may think of different things, but what Solomon meant was someone who does something wrong or who has done something wrong. They think about themselves and they think about right now. They don't have your future or your best interest in mind. When Solomon says that it leads them astray, he's basically referring to trouble. That's why you may have a friend who is a good person and a ton of fun to be around, but you find yourself getting into trouble when you're with them. This is why I don't think we should ask the question, is this friend good or bad? Instead, we should ask, is this friend a good influence on my life right now? If the answer is no, it doesn't mean that it'll be like that forever. There is hope for every single person to get on the right track. I mean, look at me. The truth is the same for all of us. If we want great friendships, either today or one day in the future, we need to be friends with people who care about our future and influence us in a positive way. Great friendships start with great people. And if you can't find one, then be one. As you focus on your character, you'll grow into a person who will be a great influence on the people in your inner circle. A few things that I'd love for you to do in light of what we've just talked about would be first, to pray for great friends. Second, ask yourself important questions about your friends. So depending on how you answer those questions, there may be friends that you need to take a couple of steps back from. If you're feeling this, we're going to talk about how to do this next time. But whatever it is, you need to be the one to decide what happens next. Don't be passive. Be intentional. The friends you choose impact your future that you will have. I believe that God wants us to have life-giving, sharpening friendships. Friendships where we can see God at work in one another. Invite God into your journey of building great friendships and ask God to help you be a great friend to others. These kind of friendships take work, but believe me, the work is gonna be worth it.